trying where you belong. Now it's gone. I've been fighting that fire for far too long. Now it's gone. You can climb much higher where you belong. Now it's gone.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 13 in season number 2 of the NRLOA ARCA Racing Series presented by Krispy Kreme. We are here at the Kansas Speedway for the Krispy Kreme 150, the penultimate race in season number 2, and the championship on the line in these next 2 races. Alongside Tristan Allen, and this time you guys will be able to hear him, which is a good thing. How aggressive do you think these championship contenders are going to be, knowing that next week the champion will be decided at Talladega?
I feel like they're going to be just as flat out as they possibly can. Like, they will be pushing as hard as they can. Now, there will be this few stragglers who will literally sit there and just wait for the wreck if there's going to be one, because they want to get through that first, because it could happen up at the front, in the middle, and they just don't want to be in that, and they could gain points off of that. But I feel a majority of them will be going for it from the drop the green flag, because every point matters, and they could be eliminated after this race.
Yes, it's definitely going to be an interesting one here in Kansas. This place doesn't really see too much crashing or too much passing, but it'll still be a very interesting and fun race at that. We'll definitely have some passing for the lead, to know that, but it's not as frequent as it is at other racetracks. But coming into today's race in the point standings, with only 2 races left to go in the season, Brad Stover, a very strong finish at Winchester last week, 260 points for him. Matthew Phillips is all of a sudden in this championship battle in the number 81. He is 5 points behind the 27. Daniel Bouchard is third in the points after last week. He is 9 points behind. And our former points leader, Nathan Stapleton, is now 11 points behind, with our last winner, Noah Cars, 12 points behind, on the verge of his first ever Napa Fan Championship. He got his first career Napa Fan win last week. He might get another one as he starts 8th for today's race. So it's going to be very interesting to see where those championship contenders fall in today's event. You also got Jonathan King. He's up there in the points as well. And Annie Thomas still has a shot. So a lot of guys still in contention for this championship in the ARCA Racing Series. Let's go ahead and head trackside for the command, the fire of the engines, in the Krispy Kreme 150, 20 laps here at the Kansas Speedway.
Now, drivers, start your engines!
And a great command there to fire these guys up. For the 13th time this season, we had ourselves a tie for the pole. But Edwin Mendez has more points than Adam Lewis, and therefore the 34 will start first for today's event. Alongside him, it is the number 11 of Adam Lewis. And both of those drivers, they might be out of championship contention at this point in the season. Number 67 of Tyler Lyman, Chicagoland winner from 2 weeks ago, will start alongside the 28 of Nathan Stapleton. The Kentucky winner from 2 weeks ago. Chicagoland was actually 3 weeks ago. Excuse me there, that's how fast time is going. Nick Smith, defending champion alongside Richard Kinghart. Jonathan King, our last winner. Noah Cars in the 42. Jaden Scott and the 33 of Micah Knapp. So a lot of these championship contenders starting up front, like Jonathan King, Noah Cars, Nathan Stapleton, they're all behind Brad Stover. Do you think they're going to get a good jump on that 27 in this race?
Well, that's certainly what they're going to be going for, and if they can do it, he may end up falling a few spots, which that will lose points, but I think if the 27 loses a spot or two to championship contenders, he's going to go into a damage limitation mode and just try to hold all the points he can from that point.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Next week's Talladega, and that's the finale race, and anything can happen there. This could be a calm race, so good opportunity for those guys to get a good points day and have a nice, clean race. Green flag is out. We're racing here in the Krispy Kreme 150, the penultimate race in Season 2 of the ARCA Series. Lyman almost dived to the inside there of the 34 of Edwin Mendez, but Mendez is going to stay out front and clear the 11 off of turn 2. Not quite. Adam Lewis with a run on the outside.
Outside lane getting the run off the corner. If they can hold on through 3 and 4, this could make it interesting for a photo finish on the last lap if they can get a good enough run down the front stretch.
We can have some pretty close finishes at this racetrack. We've had a lot of battles at the line throughout the races we've had here be very close. We got some 3 wide Nick Smith, defending champion. How about that move on Tyler Lyman and Adam Lewis? He is up to the 2nd position.
That's definitely a move he needed to make. He got just up to 2nd. Now he can hunt down the 34. And now that the first few are starting to get single file, they need to start trying to get single file themselves. And that got the 6 up, well, 2 spots, which if they're all single file, that's 2 less spots. You have to go wait behind someone and pass them within multiple laps.
Yeah, definitely. And we got the number 28 here, Nathan Stapleton. It's a good opportunity for him to get himself back in the points lead heading into the final race of the season. Brad Stover in the number 27 is not too far behind, however. You see him there, currently running 13th. Stapleton is running 5th. That would be a 3-point gap heading into Talladega between Stapleton and Stover. There are going to be a lot of guys in contention for the championship next week. I can tell you that. And when you come to Talladega, it's anybody's game because they pass like crazy there, and it's going to be a very interesting one next week for the General Tire 200. Mendez still out front, followed by Nick Smith, Adam Lewis, Tyler Lyman, and Nathan Stapleton, the Kentucky winner from 2 weeks ago.
As they're starting a single file, Nick Smith is gaining ground on the 34, which that is going back to his dive move to get up to 2nd. That is making that even more important and essential to him being this close to the 34 than, let's say, where Nathan Stapleton is now and trying to pass the 67 for 4th.
And he is trying to make this pass. He's going to be able to do so, I do believe, on the number 67. You also got Jonathan King here. King still has a chance at the championship as well. He's 6th in the points. I'm not entirely sure what the exact number is on him, but I know that if he gets a strong run here, he's going to have a chance at winning the championship next week at Talladega. So, good run for the 01. Could mean a championship this season here in the ARCA Series for that team. The Pocono winner, I believe the 2nd Pocono winner from earlier this season.
Yeah, top 3 are getting very close to each other now. They all seem to have equally fast cars for the moment. They've pulled away from the rest of the field, and it may be these 3 or these 4, counting Nathan Stapleton, who will be in contention for this win.
Yeah, they're all right on each other, but like I said, passing a little difficult here at Kansas. It's not impossible. We'll probably see it for the lead at some point throughout this race, but this is only a 20-lap race. This race actually is shorter than last season's race here was. Last season's race was 24 laps long, and this season all the races have generally been longer than in Season 1. But this one ended up being shorter here at the Kansas Speedway, so very short race, and these guys need to get up front early on, and these top 4, top 5, they got the best chances of winning here today, considering that they're up front at this point. Number 27 of Brad Stover. Definitely want to focus on our points leader here. And he could definitely knock some guys out of championship contention if he gets a strong run here. And he's right now in the top 10 and then number 27. So it's going to be very interesting to see if he can possibly get up front and maybe get the win. For the lead, Nick Smith trying to get to the inside of Edwin Mendez. That inside lane has a hard time working through turns 3 and 4.
Yes, but it works better in 1 and 2, it seems like, and that could play in Nathan Stapleton's advantage to get him back up to 3rd, which that's exactly what he does, as I am mentioning that. With the lack of momentum the 6 gets, that made the 11 have to make an evasive move, which let the 28 get into his inside when it counted more in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, number 28 of Nathan Stapleton, I think he might have the strongest car out here right now. He has put himself into the 3rd position, and as these guys have gotten single file, he's made a couple of passes, so that 28 definitely looks strong, trying to get around the defending champion of this series, Nick Smith, who has had a very struggling season in that number 6. But a win would definitely be very welcome to this team, even though they're not in championship contention anymore. A win is still a win, and I think that number 16 would love to get one.
The 01, even though he just lost a few spots, it's still looking good since he needs a strong run like this. Being up here with the top 6 cars away from the majority of the field is something that is almost a guaranteed ticket to having a great run in a race. And, well, if he just runs here, he should at least have a shot going into Talladega. And with the type of track that is, a shot is as good of a majority shot.
Definitely is. It's definitely going to be crazy next week around that 2 2/3 mile speed. We're going to focus on some of the other guys up there in the points. Here's Daniel Bouchard in the 10. Midway through the field, he's 9 points behind coming into this race, 24th right now. And there's Matthew Phillips, 27th. So those guys, they're on the verge of possibly having a very hard time winning the championship if they're going to have any chance, considering how well Brad Stober is running. Now, they're still going to have a chance, but with all these other guys in contention for the championship, I don't think they're going to be able to get it, considering how many there are right up on the 27. We had a pass for the lead, and like always, when we're not focusing on the lead in a race like this where passing is too frequent, they pass for the lead and we completely miss it. But Nick Smith out front in the number 6. He got around Edwin Mendez, and now lap 13 of 20. Nick Smith is the leader.
Yeah, Mendez, it's like he led so many laps. Like he's already led over half the race, but now it's at the point where he's wanting just to get back in a rhythm, which I think he's going to be able to do right here off of 4, and he's going to have to get back in a rhythm and put himself in a place he hasn't been all race, and which is behind their car in their draft, and he's going to have to get back around the 6. We know he has the speed, it's just does he have the car in the draft to get around the Nick Smith again?
I think these guys are going to have to fend off the 28 as well. He just seems to be the guy that's going to have the advantage, and if you guys saw the Las Vegas truck race, so Nicholas Samedillo took him until late in the race before he got the lead, but by the time he got there, he was able to hold on to it and get the win. So I think the same thing goes for Stapleton now. He got passed there by Adam Lewis, who got around him on the outside, and Mendez did not get a good run off the corner. Now the 11 trying to take second from the 34.
Yeah, the 6 seemed faster earlier in the run because the 34 just instantly is catching him, and once again, he's right to his back bumper off of the corner. The 34 just seems way faster, and does the 6 have a problem almost?
I think the 34 got such a good run off the corner that he just drove right by the 6. If you saw how bad he got a run off of turn 4 before that lap, you thought that he was not going to get the lead, but a very strong run. And you know what? There might be something wrong with Nick Smith. He fell to the end of this line here. He seems to be running just as fast as everybody else, but it's looking kind of tough for him right now. He might have lost a cylinder. He seems to be going slow, and that's a heartbreaker for this number 6 team. They were on the verge of possibly winning this race. It does not look like it's going to happen here today after that.
Yeah, with the rate that the 34 actually caught Nick Smith, I thought there could have been something up with the 6, but the 6, he's kind of staying in between the packs now, and which, with the speed that he had, that's definitely off from what he had. I don't know what their problem. I think you may be right with the cylinder, but the 34 just came with a huge run of momentum, and he literally took the whole entire line of cars behind him with him past the 6.
So it's between the two guys who tied for the pole position in this race, Adam Lewis and Edwin Mendez. Mendez has never won before in Napa Fan. He's going for his first career win. But you got a couple of championship contenders right back in here. Nathan Stapleton, Jonathan King. Stapleton still has a chance. If he can get to the back bumper of Adam Lewis and push him to the lead, he might be able to get around the 11. But I think at this point, it's going to be between Mendez and Lewis for the win. You see Lewis trying to get to the inside. That outside lane gets a great run off the corner, though. And Mendez trying to hang on in the 34 with 2 laps to go here in the Krispy Kreme 150 at Kansas.
I think the 11 had almost the perfect move off of turn 4 there for the inside, because we saw so many other drivers lose a ton of speed, but he had the perfect pass almost to get at least to keep up with the 34. Now, it's just, can he use that again to actually get around the 34 down the straightaway or stay to his inside into turns 1 and 2?
It's going to have to happen on this lap. Edwin Mendez in number 34 able to stay out front. White flag here at Kansas. That 11 is definitely getting a run. I'm going to tell you, he's going to dive to the inside. I could tell by the way he was drafting off that 34, but will he get the run? This is going to be a good finish. They're going to be side by side off at turn 2. They're going to be dead even down the backstretch. An opportunity for Stapleton. He's going to push the 11 on the inside. That might give enough to the 11 of Adam Lewis, but Edwin Mendez on the outside lane trying to get it to stick. Nathan Stapleton trying to go 3 wide at the line. Edwin Mendez edges out the 11 of Adam Lewis for the win. And our pole sitter will get his first career win on Napa Fan here tonight at the Kansas Speedway. Just edging out the 11. How about that finish right there for our pole sitter? From first to first, almost a perfect race for Edwin Mendez here today at Kansas.
Yeah, he definitely had the fastest car because he led the first, 12 or 13 laps of the race. Then when he got passed by Nick Smith, he just went right back up to the bumper of the 6 and kept attacking him over and over until he got around Nick Smith. But Nathan Stapleton there, he was in, the scenario where you couldn't really do much because with them going side by side and with how they already take up the inside lane, you couldn't make it 3 wide or else he'd be all the way up in the marbles or all the way down on the inside and compromising everyone else. So he just had to stick with someone and try to do something to make it 3 wide, but 34 had the preferred lane.
It's definitely a very good effort there by Nathan Stapleton at the end to get this third place run here at Kansas. But look at Brad Stover. He finished in the 7th position, and that's definitely going to make it hard for guys like Matthew Phillips. I was trying to find where Daniel Bouchard is. I believe he fell pretty deep in the field. Yeah, so Bouchard and Phillips, they're going to have a very tough time winning this championship because we got so many guys who are right on Brad Stover. Nathan Stapleton and Jonathan King are going to be a couple of those guys. Noah Cars is going to have a slight chance, but I think the championship's going to be between Stover, Stapleton, and King. Andy Thomas might have a chance in the 30, but we're just going to have to see how the points are. You guys will see him at the end of the video. Edwin Mendez, Adam Lewis, Nathan Stapleton, Jonathan King, Jaden Scott, the top 5. Take a look at the rest of the results. Everybody finished on the lead lap. No big crash here in this race, but next week we're probably going to get one at Talladega.
Yeah, they definitely ran a good race for not being able to pass for the lead most of the time. They were still making it interesting. They were still right on each other's bumper. The leader didn't just pull away like a second, half a second. They were all nose to tail, and they were trying to get something going to get past Mendez, which it did succeed for Nick Smith until he ended up getting passed again when I'm taking it as a cylinder failure. To fall back to 19th after that, I'm pretty sure that is a cylinder failure for the 6, but just for the 34 to get past, just to get pass him back, just shows the speed of the 34 because no one else was really able to pass for the lead besides Nick Smith himself after 10 laps of staying behind the 34.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Nick Smith just powered it a little too much there to get around the 34 and ended up ruining his engine there. Not entirely sure. He finished on the lead lap, so we don't have an official explanation for what happened. But definitely something happened, Nick Smith, as he was leading this race, fell back to 19th later on. Tough break for the defending champion. So next week, from the Talladega Super Speedway, it'll be the General Tire 200. And we started off the season at a Super Speedway, and we're going to end it at a Super Speedway. And I don't know if we've ever had a points-paying championship. That's like this one. We've had the Air Electric Pro Series have its finale at Daytona, but this is the first time we've had a series like this, where everybody gets points to have the finale at a super speedway, and it's really tight up there in the points. Of course, you guys are going to see them right after this. Congratulations to Edwin Mendez on the victory here at Kansas, and thank you to Tristan Allen for joining me here tonight, and thank you to my computer for working this time, so that you can hear him. Glad you all can hear him. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching on behalf of Tristan Allen. I think that's it. I lost it again. I always do this. But thank you guys very much for watching once again. And I will see you guys later.